Mary, we got the memo. You think your time is more important than mine because you're upset that Brittany's late to you.
The best comes last.
I don't know
It's
about
lovely.
that, but thank you.
But yet you the next day come an hour late to me. Still extended the olive branch of inviting you here in hopes that we could resolve it.
Yeah, well, you started
and you
off.
showed it up an hour late.
The problem is I live in Salt Lake City, and Meredith was in Park City. It's going to take me an hour just to drive there.
Yeah.
And it did.
I reached out to her to try to resolve this issue after the lunch, which I didn't even feel like it was my job to reach out to her. She fully attacked me, screamed at me to get out.
Meredith, if you're not going to listen to me, get out of my house.
But I was just trying to be, you know, the bigger person and whatever, and it didn't go well. The whole thing did not go well.
You know
Now
what,
we're
Meredith?
talking.
Have a good day, okay?
Yeah, you
Have a good
used
day.
me for 3 years. I got the memo.
Go
Thank
find
you.
a life.
I'm like, used you for what? What are you talking about?
For
Bless her
what?
heart. She's just, I don't know.
Used you like for your friendship? For her
I don't
friendship?
know. I don't use anybody. That's not even who I am. So there's just like all these things that she's saying that I am, and she's projecting. That's
Yeah.
the way she is, clearly. When I left, she kept calling me. I eventually stopped answering the phone because it wasn't deep enough for me. It wasn't enough to fight for. Just like when we were in Zion, I felt like I was always there for her. And then when I needed her to be there for me, she wasn't.
I think you look too pretty to get on that Sprinter.
I will ride in the Sprinter van.
She left with the women and left me by myself. And 2 producers drove me home by myself. And I flew Meredith down private. Like, you're not a friend like that. You're not a good friend to me. Like, you're just not. Maybe she doesn't know how to be.
The harboring of resentment from Zion is shocking because there was nothing harbored. She and I talked about all of that at the time, and we talked about it again a month before her lunch. And the night before her lunch, we had a call where she was talking about meeting me and Brooks in Europe and how she threw this luncheon because she knows how much I love breakfast at Tiffany's and this, that, and the other. So none of that adds up.
Have you and Meredith ever had a discussion about being hurt by her leaving you in Zion?
No. Because I was willing to say, okay, maybe she meant well. I just kept giving her excuses. And I guess she ran out of them. And I did too.
I said to her, I'm riding in the Sprinter van because I came under such heavy criticism from not riding in the Sprinter van.
Well, she missed the first trip because of her dad's memorial. None of us really know what the hell was going on.
I'm sure she suffered. Because driving back 6 hours in that van, oh my goodness. Whew.
It was despicable what I went through on that trip. To this day, I harbor hostility and anger. I moved on. But like when I think about what they did to my dead father,
My father died, so I couldn't go to fucking Sprinter van? Okay, wait. Nobody said it was a fake memorial. Nobody said that.
my father's death was ridiculed, disgraced, and I was gonna see that didn't happen again. So if that meant I had to ride in a Sprinter van rather than an SUV, that's what I was dealing with. And if you can't understand that in your heart and have compassion for that, it's not my problem anymore. I feel used. That's not going to change.
And have you spoken to her since then?
When she got her snowflake, I sent her a text congratulating her because I know that's what she wanted. She responded, and that was pretty much it. I don't have a problem with Mary. She just showed me who she is. Thank you for letting me know. It's just a different relationship than it was. She didn't respect it, so you get what you ask for.
You know, I talked to Angie all the time last year. I feel like I was genuine in our relationship. I feel like we talked about everything from God to her parenting to like, you know, her father and like what's going on in her family's life. And it was like surprising to me how like I felt like none of that even mattered this year. And like when we go to the aquarium, I feel like Angie and I got to a good place.
You've let this go too far. And I'm sorry.
We agreed not to let anyone get in the middle of us in the friend group, right? And, you know, I wanted to see her stay on this positive trajectory with Meredith. I didn't want to get in the middle of their friendship. I was happy that they were moving forward. And I was hoping for the same support for Whitney and myself, like that she could allow us to be friends without thinking that I'm like backstabbing her or talking about her.
Like you're like listening to Whitney on a lot of things.
I'm
and like,
not.
And like you.
I promise you that.
I feel like she doesn't believe that people can have friendships outside of her without talking about her in a bad light.
But
What
she's
about
the
her
type,
Meredith?
if she's mad at the person, she wants you to be mad at them
That's
too.
exactly.
And everybody's not like that.
Yeah,
Like,
she'll
I
never
can't
admit
function
that,
like that.
but this is true. Like if I'm nice to Whitney, she can't trust me. And if the worst thing I did was tell her that Lisa knows about the podcast and isn't happy about it. And Lisa went on to tell me about the fact that you did this podcast and that you were calling her a villain. Guess what? Lisa said that publicly online before I told Whitney. So Lisa has no reason to be mad at me.
You know, the day of my Bezos party, we talked 3 times that day. And then, like, she's clearly prepped Whitney about everything my feelings were, so Whitney knew what I was gonna say, what my issues were.
What?
Because you're gonna go run your mouth and not
She
keep...
said plenty.
It's not about who says plenty. It's about you repeating what I said.
Don't
Do that to me.
Yeah, 100%. I don't do that to people.
I don't do that either.
And I
It's
don't
sacred.
pretend. No, and I don't pretend to be friends with people. I'm not. I don't pretend to like people. I don't. If I don't like you, you'll know it. I won't talk to you.
I feel like she has an issue with my friendship, and she's talked to me about Whitney, and I've never gone to Whitney with things she said. I try to remain neutral and just listen and let them vent. But you know, you do put people in the middle when you talk about them to each other. Don't you agree?
Yeah, you just have to be careful
Yeah.
because you can't say anything that will side with them. And Whitney's strong on that. Like, if she's mad at someone, she's the same way.
You know, the
She
thing
doesn't
is,
want me to like Lisa. She doesn't want you to like her. She wants us to have her back. I feel like they're a lot alike, and that's probably why they don't get along.
All I remember from field day is like the huge argument at the end.
You're lying right now.
I am not. Do not.
You are
call
lying
me
right
a
now.
liar.
That is a lie, Whitney.
I mean, Whitney is the root of this group's issues. She's like a bad game of telephone. She hears a rumor and thinks it's fact.
Lisa had reason to suspect to us that the memorial didn't happen. One of your that has the jazz tickets, you've been involved with, I don't want to say the name.
Are you crazy?
I had someone who knows that account. They verified that you were the one that fed the
I did not do that. I did not do that, Whitney.
Whitney loves to spin the truth, and like she always makes herself look like she's innocent or like I'm healing. I would never do that. But no, you're not. You're not healing. If you were healing, you wouldn't be doing 99% of the things you do. You're like, you use that as an excuse for your bad behavior. So I'm like, Mary, why are you listening to f***ing Whitney lying Rose over me?
That is true. You're just a game. Is what
I'm
you
a
are.
game? You don't know
and
me.
you do mess with people.
Mary, you don't
talk
know
behind
me.
people's back all the time.
You and Whitney both do it. So don't throw rocks at a glass house when you're in one, you know? You guys bring problems on yourself.
They're wanting to accuse me of things that they've all been documented saying and doing. I've just gotten caught up in the crosswinds.
You guys all hate being called a liar. You all call each other liars. Just stop. Everyone stop saying liar.
No,
My
but
God.
listen, I have been involved in these situations, but I have never once started them. The only thing that I've ever started has been with Lisa. I've heard that she slept with him to sway him to invest in her businesses.
Maybe Lisa's the
And I
one with
take
the
full
problems.
accountability for it. Like, I've apologized, I've owned it, I've stopped doing the things that I knew upset her. And I'm sorry, I stand by this season, everything I've said about her, I stand by it. I have not done anything besides calling you a villain, which I stand by. This is my business, my brand, and it's not just something that popped up. I feel like this was planted.
By who?
By Lisa?
So I'm not apologizing because it's my truth. And if she doesn't like my truth, then
I don't like hers either.
yeah, she can F right off.
When you say I'm sorry, you're never going to do it again.
That's
she
what an
says I'm sorry,
apology
and she
is.
does it again and again and again.
Right.
So your apologies mean nothing.
Right.
I just think it's tough because Mary is like, oh, I love truth. I love, you know, I say it how I see it. But if you're saying to me how you see it, you're like 180 from the truth, and you're believing the biggest liar on this like little camping circle. You're
Well, then you
believing the
better
biggest
take
liar.
the truth when the truth is presented to
And
you.
this
if
is
you
why
believe
Whitney's
in the truth.
yeah. Well, this is why Whitney's dangerous, and it's like up to Mary to believe the truth or fact that you can watch on a show. Like,
Right.
I mean, it's kind of crazy.
Not to be in Lisa's defense, but I feel like I just wish they would stop. Because I feel it's like over nothing. Like Whitney's like, I feel strong feelings about her that I don't like her. And I'm like, well, take that to her. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Well,
like people
that's a hard
fighting.
thing. You don't want to be in the middle.
I don't get in the middle because I'm not in that. It's too stupid. It's like kid stuff. Like I
Yeah.
don't, We're women, and I'd be glad when they catch up.
There's a new series coming to Bravo, sold on Salt Lake City, and I want to talk real estate. But Meredith, you have an interesting perspective. Let's talk rentals in Park City.
I have 3 residences right now. I'm far from homeless, and yes, I rent.
Times are tough.
My friends who think that's so offensive.
Live it.
I do.
In your rentals.
So should probably be apologizing to all the renters in the United States and worldwide because many people do it for a multitude of reasons. As you guys know, Seth and I were on the verge of a divorce. I'm not reading your phone.
I would like you to read my phone only because it would make me think like you care.
We had sold our house in Park City shortly before that. We didn't think we were staying married. After that, our kids were all out of the house. We were empty nesters. I'm a avid traveler, and I really just wanted no responsibility, no ties down. I have a multitude of investments in real estate, but I spend 4 to 6 months out of the year in Park City, and I spend the rest of my year between New York, LA, a little bit of Miami, Europe, and a little bit of Asia sometimes. And that's kind of my life. It's not so bad. Clearly, Angie has issues in her own house, so to knock me because I rent, maybe she should focus on the issues in her own home.
Okay. Which of your homes we've seen has been your favorite?
Probably season 2. I love the views, for starters, which is like major. It wasn't on as big of a property as my house this past season. It was on a large enough property where I didn't feel like anyone was really on top of me. I liked like that speakeasy office. The whole house was my vibe of
Wait,
that house.
Speakeasy Office was season 2?
Yeah.
Oh, that was cool.
I love Park City. I pay a huge premium to be up there, and that's why I do it. I have fun in Salt Lake, but I love Park City. There's just something about the whole ski resort vibe that just, it's very zen for me. It's very peaceful.
I mean, it's your whole personality, like just, you know, Main Street, and it's kind of hoity-toity, you know, and like the
But it's
who's who.
low-key
But
still.
it's low-key, yeah. And it's a mountain town, but it's like, you know, high fashion and like high
It's
energy.
mountain chic.
Oh, this last season, you had some pretty incredible views as well, by the way. There wasn't a bad view in the house.
No, I would take the property from last season hands down over anywhere else. I mean, that size of a piece of land in Park Meadows is just phenomenal and not that common, but I'd like to have the other house on it.
Is it hard to find modern houses in Park City? Because it feels like mountain.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
the
it's
aesthetic.
There's more and more coming on now, like, because there's been so much new construction, but it is very, very, very difficult to find something that's more modern, more my vibe.
Caviar problems.
We might have to build. We're actually talking
I know,
about
you
it.
should build.
even
I would
though
love
really
to
don't want
see what you would
to.
build out there.
Or we might do it.